Starseed. We are helping Earth reclaim her sovereignty through giving you the daily crypto news every night at 10 p.m. Mountain, 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, 5 o'clock Universal Time. So we'd like to talk about cryptocurrency news, and we'd like to blend that in with topics such as sovereignty and esoteric wisdom. So tonight's going to be a great night. I'm super excited for anybody that's able to end up joining in, and yeah, we'll go ahead and get on into it. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll end up reading the news first and foremost, just because there's so much news and we have to be getting this stuff. And then we also like to end up opening up our Discord room so that way you can voice chat. But anytime that we're going through this, feel free to put out what you got to say here in chat. This is a great environment for everybody. All right, so yeah, first of all, going ahead and getting into it, let's go ahead and look at some of the news that's going on. First of all, and you guys forgive me because I got a sore throat, so I'm trying to deal with that. So anyways, first of all, Bitcoinist.com is putting out an article that's pretty interesting. It says the wealthy families in Latin America are snapping up Bitcoin. And then when you read further a little bit into the article, you can see that it says the average citizen in many Latin American countries has turned to Bitcoin in order to survive. And now many wealthy families are becoming a believer in the cryptocurrency and are buying as much as they can. So the economic situation in many Latin American countries is extremely dire. Hyperinflation has hit Peru, Bolivia, Argentina, Venezuela, Brazil, with some countries in worse shape than others, such as Venezuela. Many normal residents began to turn to Bitcoin when the economic situation began to hit rock bottom. Now it seems that the upper echelons of Latin American society have taken note, as many wealthy families are now diving enthusiastically into Bitcoin. So there's also some capital fund managers that are having to end up managing a lot of Bitcoin now for people. Oh, let me make sure that everything is going too. I haven't even checked that. So hey, if anybody's having any problems with the audio or anything like that, call it out, please. But yes, let me make sure that that's all going. Okay, cool. Check that. So hey, if anybody's having any problems with the audio or anything like that, call it out, please. Okay, cool. I could hear here. All right, cool. So it sounds like I could hear the audio. But yeah. So anyways, with this, this guy, the Carlos Mosquera Benetuil, who fled to Rome from Venezuela to open his business. He is a fund manager of Solidus Capital, and he says Latin America is very volatile. Cryptos are turning into a new haven for these families. So that's pretty cool. So what I could say is that, this is going to end up being something that not just Latin America, but everywhere around the world is going to start to see that, and it's going to be an easy and awesome, alternative to what the banks are offering, especially because it's going to be hard for the banks to offer this. And that's the reason why the banks also want to control it, and talk as much as they can about it, and not the best way. Hey, ISR RSI, good evening. Thank you so much for making it here tonight. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the news. Let me get this light going, for us a little bit better. Shoot. There we go, family. All right, cool. So anyways, yeah, this is just pretty cool. It says to show how much Bitcoin and other digital currencies have exploded in Latin America due to the ongoing economic crisis, the number of cryptocurrency transactions in Venezuela alone have tripled since the start of 2017. Demand in Argentina spiked in June when former President Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner, whose policies put the country into a recession, announced that she was running again for political office. Interesting post on Reddit's Bitcoin from a Redditor who compares the different options for storing value in Venezuela. He says, I know a lot of people who know everything they could, who sold everything they could to leave the country and took their money to Bitcoins through local Bitcoins. And so people in Latin America are turning to Bitcoin as it offers immediate payment without the need for a bank. Even professionals are now demanding to be paid in digital currencies. For family members who live abroad, Bitcoin is a lifesaver as they can send money in an instant back home without the onerous fees charged by groups like Western Union. The fact that anybody with a smartphone can now begin trading Bitcoin has led the way. Chief executive of Panama-based crypto buyer Jorge Farias says, or it could be George, I'm sorry, I don't know. You know, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. Respect. But there are countries today without potable water where everyone has a cell phone. Everyone who has a smartphone can have a Bitcoin account, which is something that couldn't happen before. So its niche really is the whole world. And that's why it's better to be looking at this as like an ongoing technology rather than just like a market. You know what I mean? There are going to be people in the old market and old markets that operate on fiat that are going to call this a market as well. But that's usually somebody coming from a centralized mindset. And when they start to comprehend the technology better, then it's able to see that, you know, wow, this is actually something that is going to end up changing the whole world. It's not just some market. You know, the niche is the whole world. So I just want to go ahead and point that out. Props to Latin America for starting to use this cryptocurrency and for allowing it to not, you know, stop your guys' commerce and stop your guys' trade. What is this? Dang farts in the house. What is up, my friends? So glad that you're able to make it. I'm so glad that you're finally on the spaceship, bro. We have room. Hang out. It's so good that you're here. So yeah, we're just gonna go through some stuff here tonight, and man, that just made me get happy. Everybody, did it make you get happy too? Cool. So yeah, basically that was just my first article here. Next, I just wanted to go ahead and tell you, yeah, Ray of Sunshine, what is up? Throwing out the what's ups to dank fart. All right, so. Anyways, next, going ahead and just taking a look, after the BitcoinNews.com has an interesting article out tonight that says, after dramatic price swings, Coinbase issues plea to investors. Now, I'm not going to read this article, but I just want you guys to know that this is something that is very honorable, and I kind of just want to give, Coinbase honor with this, just because it says, you know, Coinbase, let's just kind of go through what they've been going through lately, and I just want to raise some awareness to this site, to this company, and like, I'm not like partnered with them, you know, or whatever. I got a referral link for sure in my description, but that's it. You know, like what everybody gets. But I just want to give them some honor. And so I just want to go ahead and say that, you know, Coinbase, you know, in the middle of this year, they were starting to see that they were having 40,000 accounts every 24 hours signing up on their site. That was 6 months ago. That was before the banks started to talk heavily of this, and the government started to rely heavily on this. And so now that we are seeing those two factors, we're starting to see an over 8 times increase in accounts that Coinbase is coming up with or having to answer to every 24 hours. They're currently having to answer over 320,000 accounts every 24 hours, verifying y'all's documents, making sure your accounts are getting set up, making sure you're getting ready, and so that you can start to trade, and so that you can buy into this. They have taken massive stress on their website and on their company and on their customer service, that they have shut down their phone lines in the past few months, and then they went on a massive hiring spree. And if you look at their Twitter, you'll end up seeing, amongst other things, that they've had to go ahead and expand their customer service department by 640%, guys, in the last few months. So that means if there was 100 employees there, there's 640 people now working with you. That's what and just customer service. That's what I'm trying to say, is that like, I just want you guys to see that I follow Coinbase on Twitter. Do it as well if you want to end up staying up to date with what they're doing. But this is also how I'm aware of this. And I've been seeing what they've been going through. And this little part of the show right now was just to give you guys honor, to let you guys know that you're doing a fantastic job of A, being able to take on these people, B, communicating what's going on with your site to your customers, and B, still trying to remain, good in government's eyes. Very, very impressive job, and I just wanted to go ahead and give that to Coinbase, because you deserve that type of honor, where it is. Now, is it perfect? No, but is any company perfect? So that's what I could say. You're going to see a lot of backlash. There's a lot of other people that are disappointed and pissed off at Coinbase, but I just want to say, without affiliation, besides my referral link, is that, dude, like, these guys are definitely holding it up very well. So thumbs up, props to you, Coinbase. You got a thumbs up from Sovereign Starseed tonight, because we see that there's a lot of stress coming to you right now, and man, somehow you're still being able to do it. So next in the news, just wanted to talk about Presscoin. Bitcoinist.com put out an article that says Presscoin takes up the fight against fake news. So distributed ledger technology, aka blockchains, has the ability to change any industry where fraud can occur. Few industries are more prone to fraud and lies than the news industry, and Presscoin is looking to take on this monumental task. So they talk about fake news, but basically what we'll see here is that they're releasing an ICO, and recently we've seen articles coming out about how the election was so mishandled because the amount of fake news was being reacted to more so than the amount of real news on Facebook and other places. And we're starting to end up seeing that a lot of that news was sponsored by foreign entities outside the US. And I think that's very interesting. So Presscoin coming in, trying to solve a problem that's been inherent in our species for a while. Love this. And I'm interested to see, exactly how a blockchain can help us start to legitimize the news that we're seeing. It's very important that I bring this article up, my friends, because, I always want to make sure that we're aware. Anybody that's watching this, anybody that watches this in the future, looking back on all this information, will be able to make the right decision every time, right? Because hindsight is 20/20. But right now, while we're in the thick of it, we have to remember that all this information that we're getting right now is absolutely possible to being propaganda. In fact, if anything is pushing any agenda, it is some type of propaganda. So there is some way of seeing that as propaganda, and also still trying to end up being able to make sovereign and internal decisions on what we're reading, on what we're seeing here. So I just want you guys to know that as we're reading these things, I also read these with such an objective heart that I'm also like, okay, look, this is absolutely possible that it could be fake. But regardless of this is that all these people are reading the news as well, and it is only driving the price higher. So just something to think about, but there's also the possibility that it could be driving it lower at some point too. So there's both sides to everything. Everything is a double-edged sword here in life, and so that's what I also like to talk about here as well, is the neutrality of everything, keeping everything neutral. So yes, Presscoin, loving it. Make sure that you let me know about this ICO, because that's really cool that they're going to end up trying to do some things. So what I could say, guys, is let's just go ahead and talk about that in an unbiased way. What benefits do you think a blockchain could provide? Oh, hey Rove, so glad that you're able to make it, my friend. Welcome to the spaceship. But yeah, we're just talking about right now about what could a blockchain do to the press. What could it do to the press industry, the media industry? What are the positives that it could do? Could you see a lot more transparency? Could you see a lot more people having to back up their statements if they're going to put them on like a distributed ledger, like a blockchain? Could you see people researching things a lot deeper before they say things, that's going to go on a blockchain because it's going to be there forever? What are some detriments to a blockchain basically being the controlling entity of our press? What are the detriments? Could you see possibly, that there might end up being even more centralization at some point? Could you see possible discrimination from a blockchain depending on the information that's going to it? Could we still see alternative information on a blockchain? These are all great questions to try to highlight the positives and the negatives of this, so that way when we move forward, we can stand up and we can look at this and go, okay, I know that this is sensitive. And I just want to look at it sensitively, because it's a beautiful thing that we have this right now on the planet, but it's something that, you know, we absolutely have to be conscious of our decisions. So, yes, that's just something that I wanted to bring it up there. Presscoin, taking care of the news, loving it. Because I'm trying to help out with the news right now, and I would love to end up seeing if there was like a verified blockchain that had all kinds of people verifying the news that I could go to, so I could give you guys the news, and then we could end up seeing like, okay, this is verified, you know, pretty well. This is probably not propaganda. So yeah. Anyways, next in the news, the BitcoinNews.com put out an article that says the Zimbabwe exchange added Ethereum relicensing Bitcoin. So this is pretty interesting, because Zimbabwe, as we know, is in an upheaval right now. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do about their administration, has no president. And so like, because of this, we got to figure out exactly what we're going to end up doing with our sister country. So like with this, like, you know, they're trying to end up figuring out what they're going to end up making about their economy right now. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. However, you know, the central bank has already said that the Zimbabwe Reserve Central Bank declares that cryptocurrency is still not legal in Zimbabwe because the bank continues to conduct research on Bitcoin trade and use in the country. But, you know, what's crazy is that in October, Golix, which is an exchange in Zimbabwe, processed $1 million in Bitcoin transactions. So as banks in Zimbabwe are failing to make international purchases on time, the Zimbabwean government also says mobile funds have increased. Also, the Zimbabwe Post and Telecommunications Regulatory Authority announced on Thursday that mobile wallet deals exceed $1.2 billion for the third quarter to the end of September. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to see how the funds have changed and how people have stopped using that which they were given and started to choose something that which they wanted. And this is beautiful, because I've been reporting recently about how, you know, other presidents of other areas of South Africa are basically coming out and saying our people need to be able to stand up for themselves. They need to be able to handle their own problems. And I think that's beautiful. That's beautiful. AKA sovereignty. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Ray? Ray is up in the house. Yo, so glad that you're able to make it tonight, brother. Welcome to the spaceship. It's feeling good. It's feeling good, man. Finally getting this thing a little broken in. Boybird Force, hello. What's up? Welcome to the spaceship, my friend. We're just going over some crypto news every night at 10. Bars. Anyways, so check this out, secret Bitcoin billionaire. So dailymail.co.uk put out an interesting article today that says, secret Bitcoin billionaire, how an anonymous super geek created a currency that became the planet's hottest investment, but is it destined to end in disaster? So you can't touch it, see it, or smell it. No one owns it or controls it. No one regulates it. Yet Bitcoin, the world's craziest currency, is supposedly worth 200 billion euros, which is significantly more than Britain's biggest bank, HSBC. And so this is a long article, but basically this is just something that's really good, and I want you guys to end up seeing that as this is here, there is cryptocurrencies that are currently being created that people have no idea who owns them. And so, you know, some people are trying to end up saying Elon Musk created Bitcoin. He's coming out and saying, I'm not creating Bitcoin. Somebody gave me Bitcoin a long time ago, but I don't know where it is anymore. It's hard to see what's true or what's not. But what I can tell you guys is that with this right here, it's just beautiful to see that it started up a technology that has now created over 1,200 altcoins. And, you know, some of them are also reaching the billions as well. And the second most popular altcoin, Ethereum, is now, it's actually the first most popular altcoin, is the most correct way of saying that. But Ethereum, that was created by Vitalik Buterin when he's like 14, 15. So that's something that's beautiful. And like, I just want you guys to see this article so you can see that there's massive opportunity right now. Massive opportunity to change the world. So that's what I'm saying. If you got development skills, if you got programming skills, if you got friends that got programming skills, let's get some shares on this so that we can show them what they need to end up be doing. Like if you develop something like a cryptocurrency and a blockchain that's actually solving one of the problems right now that a lot of us face, then it's pretty much destined to start helping out. It's pretty much destined to gain some traction because we need it right now. It's just the perfect time. So yeah, I see it as nothing more than the perfect time. So yeah, Brian's up in the house. What's up, Brian? Thank you for getting up in the spaceship. I'm so glad you were able to make it. So yeah, the Bitcoin news. Next article, putting out this article that says Bitcoin, other cryptocurrencies will play key role in society, says Yahoo's Jerry Yang. And so basically, I just wanted to end up seeing there that CEO of Yahoo basically going to end up be saying it's going to end up being the key of future to society. The key to the future of society. I'm sorry. Gosh, it's getting late. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, man, is that even Yahoo, they're getting into it. They're saying it's going to be the key. And yet we still have countries around the planet that are trying to actively ban and get rid of this. Fascinating, my friends. So next in the news, just wanted to go ahead and read something because this is something that's kind of important. It's kind of good to end up seeing a little bit deeper into what's going on with an ongoing cryptocurrency. And this is from another Redditor's perspective as I was reading it earlier, and it's just very interesting to see how this person has laid some things out. So just 5 hours ago on Reddit, it just basically says, guess who controls over 500 million tethers across 3 exchanges, over 73% of USDT currently in circulation. So, basically, this guy is basically talking about, I've previously posted on the interrelatedness of Bitfinex and Tether, worth a read if you don't know how they're connected, and this is what I've reported on in the past. Check my previous videos. If you don't see it on Twitch, you'll see it on YouTube archived. It's called Pull Out of Bitfinex, and so it's basically talking about how Bitfinex created okay, so Bitfinex is a cryptocurrency exchange with a dark past involving multiple run-ins with trading laws and regulations, problems with banks, and multiple hacks resulting in the loss of millions of dollars worth of BTC. Tether is a fairly new development. Its first address came into existence in 2014. What it claims to be is a cryptocurrency backed one-to-one with the USD. So for every tether, there is supposedly $1 backing it. Thus the name Tether. Problem is, there is no evidence of this. The requirements to buy Tether involve extensive verification hoops, though, that make pretty much defeat the purpose of the cryptocurrency. Charlie's up in the house. Adouche is in the house. What's up, guys? So glad y'all are able to make it. Welcome to the spaceship, baby. So, alright. So, Tether is a fairly new development. We're talking about the relation of Tether and kind of how it plays out here. So, So, hey, you guys, also, just to let you guys know, if you're in the Twitch chat, the more you type in the Twitch chat, the more you level up as well. So, there's going to end up being points that are going to end up coming out for the more active you are. So, talk, just chat, just whatever. Adouche, what's up? Hey, everybody say what's up to Adouche right here, man. Let's welcome him up in the spaceship. What's up? So, yeah. Anyways, as I'm just taking a look at this, guys, because of this, after seeing hundreds of millions of Tether being typed into existence to the tune of over 800 million, most of which is being used on exchanges, it has come to the attention of the cryptocurrency community as a whole that Tether may not be such a great thing for Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. We found that it is being created freely without any proof of its required USD reserves. And when it says required, it just means promised, because they promise that they have this all sitting somewhere. Okay? So Tether has the equivalent power of the Federal Reserve. That alone is absolutely insane. You can see why these factors combine to create a somewhat stormy horizon for cryptocurrency as a whole. You know what they say about one bad apple and what it does to that whole bucket, right? So all I aim to do in this post is to outline who owns the majority of Tether, where it's located, how much of Bitcoin's daily trading volume it makes up, and how I came to those conclusions. Anything beyond that, like manipulation or anything else, is not going, it's just all speculation really. So like all we can do is just point out some of the facts. So like here we go, and like I'm not going to go through this whole thing because this is a long article, guys, and if you guys want, I'm going to pop this out in chat right now so y'all can read this, because it's a very good article to read, so you can find out exactly not only what's happening to a cryptocurrency, but what's happening to an exchange, how it evolves, how it affects economies, and it'll give you a lot of sovereignty over yourself. So I just want you guys to see that. Jacob's up in the house. What's up, Jacob? Welcome to the spaceship. So glad you guys are just hopping up in here, man. I'm about it. So yes, dude, we're doing cryptocurrency news every night, 10 p.m. Mountain, 5 o'clock Universal. Make sure you follow in the whatever profiles you guys are checking out. Let's get some shares on this. Let's get some likes on this. Let's get the message out there. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that Tether and Bitfinex are intimately connected because Bitfinex created Tether. And now there's going to be a huge bubble within the cryptocurrency community that will pop, and it may not make the rest of the cryptocurrency community look so good. And what I'm trying to say right now is that we have now coming on to a decade of empirical evidence about Bitcoin, how Bitcoin has been here for almost a decade now, and it's been able to end up doing what it needs to do without having to have regulation and without having to have such a bad name spread upon it. Anything worse than fiat, I can't even find it. Everything that people say that's bad about Bitcoin, I could say the exact same thing about fiat. Find something that you can say about Bitcoin that you can't say about fiat, and I'll look into it. You know what I mean? And I'm serious. I want to end up knowing. 20K by tomorrow. Charlie says, what's up, Charlie? Yo, yeah, dude, I definitely don't. Dude, I don't doubt you. We've been taking bets on the channel. What do you think it's going to be by Christmas? I was going to say 25K, but I've had to keep readjusting my bets. At first, I thought it was going to be 10K, but that was back in November. Yep. Definitely. What's up, bro? I'm so glad you guys are being able to come in, you guys are being able to make it here, because I know that there's a lot of things that are going on the internet right now, a lot of live streams where it's hard to find some value, so just thank you so much for coming up into the spaceship and just, experiencing this with me, because we're going to end up getting into chatting in a minute, and then we're also going to end up reading a little bit from esoteric knowledge as well. So anyways, just keep on watching out for Bitfinex. Watch out for Tether. Watch out for about how they're created. And then also make sure that if anybody starts to talk anything about the cryptocurrency community as a whole because of what Tether does, that we stay educated and we're able to educate our brothers and sisters, and our friends and family on like, no, actually this is just one small cryptocurrency that I saw this coming and we've been tracking it, and so we've been seeing things like this. And so with that, let me also say that again, Bitfinex could absolutely be proving me wrong here. And if they prove me wrong, I would love that, because I've used Tether before in the past, before I was starting to pay attention to and put together all these keys. So when I was starting to connect all these dots, so like, because, and it's largely because of these posts here, and like being able to follow up with these news every day, you're able to start to connect the dots. So like from that, just think about that, like Tether and Bitfinex seems like they're going down the same road as Mt. Gox. I want them to prove me wrong. I would love for them to establish and be around, but right now you can't get a Bitfinex account if you're in the US. They've been banned from the US, and it makes you wonder why. So yes, that's that. In 2 years, 500,000, 45K. 45K is your Christmas. 45K by Christmas? Yeah, bro, I'd be down. I'm so down. What's happening to BTC tomorrow? Skull Buff's in the house. Premier's in the house. Young Hefe's in the house. Yo, everybody, just thank you guys so much for joining in here. I'm just super appreciative right now. Let me just say, if it wasn't for all this, like this wouldn't be nearly as exciting. Salam, my friend, salam. So, all right, check this out. Yeah, basically, as this is, just look into how USDT and Bitfinex work. It's not something that is safe for me to be investing in right now. I'm not going to be telling anybody else advice on taxes or investments, but I can't tell you what I would do. So we just put in the first ATM in Sanford, Florida today. FYI, Ken's coins. Yo, right on. Nice. That is so cool. Yo, I've been hearing that like Potcoin is now in over like 40 to 80,000 ATMs worldwide. And I was like, dang, maybe that's what's holding up the price of Potcoin lately. But that's beautiful, man. Right on. Charlie and Crimiar. Do you guys work together or what? Y'all just posted the same message. So anyways, next in news, I just want to go ahead and talk about how Vanity Fair. How often do I get an article from them? You know what I'm saying? How often do I report from them? Vanity Fair has actually put it out an article today saying nobody at the White House seems to understand Bitcoin. So, you know, I think that's pretty interesting, and I think that's pretty telling, and I think that's pretty obvious. And so what I could say is that you guys remember how in a few days before I was talking about how there was some mention at a White House press conference recently about how the president and his cabinet are looking at cryptocurrencies right now, and that they said that at some point they're going to use the Department of Homeland Security of all qualified and competent people to make decisions for how this is going to happen. And I was like, all right. So I just want you guys to see that, like, right now the government is trying to find a way to put together a body to regulate us on something it currently does not understand. Do you see how currently we are just as free as them? And now currently we are now getting more free because we're educating ourselves and we're closing the gap from not knowing what cryptocurrencies are and being able to hold them and being able to stand on our feet with them to fully being able to have confidence in them. And we're learning at a rate faster than the government, because I don't know if the government officials are sitting around on streams like this. You know what I mean? So, and on Thursday, we're having a conference call to put 110 in malt. Yo, get it, Charlie. Yes, so Charlie is serious about increasing the infrastructure. I appreciate that. Nice. Right on, my friend. So, yeah, like, I just wanted to end up showing you guys that here at Vanity Fair, they're even reporting nobody seems to understand what Bitcoin is. But I also want you guys to see on this channel that it's very important to know that the government, at least the US, has not made any stance for or against it, which I think is very wise. It's staying neutral so far, while all these other countries are advancing. And so I think it's very, very wise to end up seeing that the US has not made some type of decision on it yet. This is just my opinion, guys, by the way. Like, you know, I have the right to always change this. I have the right to be wrong. And so, like, because of that, I'm just trying to say that it's interesting. U.S. hasn't made a decision on it yet, but it's doing certain things, like in Michigan, putting someone in jail for not reporting on the taxes, and also in New York, somebody has their assets frozen for being suspected of fraud during an ICO. So there are some stances that are being made, but there isn't anything that's like officially coming out legislature-wise, and to be honest and obvious, it's because these guys just don't get it and they haven't spent the time researching it yet. So thank yourselves for tuning into something like this tonight. Thank yourselves for getting into cryptocurrency. Yo, thank you, Charlie, for starting to really set up the network and helping the alternative be all around Florida. You know, I hope you expand, bro. I hope it's not just Florida, my man. I hope you go further, my friend. So, like, you know, that's just what I'm saying, because the faster we can get these types of things in place, the faster we can help our government understand Bitcoin. You guys, that's the whole point. We're supposed to help our government understand what all of these things are. Not our government try to help us understand what these things are. They only do that when we become so weak that we can't even educate ourselves on these things. So that's what I'm trying to say tonight. That's why the cryptocurrency news is so important, my friends. is that like when you start to know about what's going on, you start to see what's happening, then you can help out our government. And that's the way it should have always been. Should have always been, baby, just like that. Which one of our founding fathers said that? That it shouldn't be, you know, the government controlling the people, but the people controlling the government. Because that way we actually have people standing up and going, look, I want this law to happen this way, you know, and I want it in a healthy way. You know, and let's have healthy discourse this way. So please know that, like, I'm not sitting here trying to end up being some massive influencer or somebody that's against the government or somebody that's on it. You know, I'm just neutral. I'm just making my observations of the situation, baby. And it's with an open heart. And that's the way that it is. I cannot help it. And I want us to know that we should be able to speak freely. We should be able to have this freedom of thought, freedom of speech, freedom of information. So that's why, you know, it's going to get a little bit interesting here in the next few articles. Next, I just want to talk about how, you know, hot topics. This is just something that Inverse.com put out today, and it just says the librarian behind this viral poster says it will hang indefinitely. So this is just something beautiful, guys, and I want you to see this, because I want you to see that these are already something that, if you can see that we have tough topics in what we call the freest country on the planet, then we're already got work to do. We got to make sure that these topics aren't tough, the ones that you're seeing on the screen. And so, like, as I'm just taking a look at this, 2 years, Bitcoin, $500,000, whoop, you know, and like, when some of my friends were telling me today, Charlie, they were like, yo, should I buy in? And I was like, yeah, buy in. I'm buying in. I'm going to buy in 6 months. I'm going to buy in 12 months, dude, because it's going to continue to go up. So you're exactly right. And like, even in 6 months, even in 12 months, you're going to be like, man, I really wish I could have bought in for 100,000. I really wish I could have bought in at 150K. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yes, as I'm just taking a look at this, guys, I just want you to see this. This is something that a librarian put up in the library for teens. And what this is this is an area that you can go and you can just see this on the wall if you're a teenager dealing with one of these topics, and it shows you where in the Dewey Decimal System where you can go in the library to find books on each of these topics. So my friends, this is what I'm trying to say. What this library is doing is it's giving teenagers its privacy back. And when it found out that it can give teenagers its privacy back, then these teenagers are able to go into this library and study and be able to become sovereign on topics that would be hard to discuss in society. So this is what I'm trying to get at. This is why privacy is important. So that way, if we're going through something, we have the right to be able to explore ourselves and to be able to get deep with ourselves and to be able to see that these things aren't just something that is prejudiced to just us. Hey, there's a whole bunch of other people that have gone through this, that are going through this, and will go through this. So any of these topics that are on the screen right there, it makes it easier to swallow. It makes it easier to go through. But if we don't have our privacy, and we're constantly being tracked and traced, and we don't feel safe about talking about certain topics, then we're going to get all messed up. And that's how you start to see these adults with perversions coming out. Because we haven't had this. And this is where the work is. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about relating this all into cryptocurrency and spirituality, and the fact that privacy is a huge asset right now. It's beautiful. It's our #1 asset. So please, if your friends are trying to tell you, well, if you have nothing to hide, you shouldn't worry about it. Oh, I don't have anything to worry about. Doesn't matter. At some point, you could go through one of the things that's on the screen right here, and you may not want to talk to anybody about it. You may just want to discover it on your own and read and just get closer with yourself and discover the inner workings of yourself, which is what this is all about. Is it not? Sorry if I'm getting passionate about it, but you guys, I'm just trying to tell you that these are the topics that we already have work to do on, and we must protect our privacy. We must protect it for ourselves, our children, for everything around us. Because that's the way that we're going to heal ourselves and each other, by having the option to go and explore on our own without being watched. So yeah. So yep, who cares? Exactly, right? Yep, it is. Exactly, dude. I'm loving this right now. Fiat turns to crypto. That's the start of it. You're exactly right, Charlie Price. It's the transition, my friend. The transition. Why did I talk about this? Because I found another article today. PC Gamer comes out with this article today, and they're talking about how, like, Verizon VP jokes at planting a brainwashed FCC chairman. Ajit Pai says, awesome. So this is something that I just really, really want you guys to end up seeing here, so that we can end up seeing how all this stuff is playing out. Tell me, let me get this over here. Let me get this up on the screen so you can see it. Okay, this is going to be hard to see because you're going to see right here the subtitles. The software engineers don't care about money, right? Exactly. They're too smart. So check this out. Ajit Pai is sitting here on stage going through a roast, and tell me if you guys can't hear this, but what he's talking about is how he's laughing at how at someday he's going to end up becoming the head of the FCC, and they're going to capture the FCC. Can you hear this? FCC, and they're going to capture the FCC. Can you hear this? FCC, and they're going to capture the FCC. You guys can't hear it. Can you hear it? Okay, cool. Did you hear how he said in collusion? He's like, in collusion, in conclusion. He's joking, mocking it. He's like, I can no longer hide from the truth. I don't know if, let me try to see if y'all could see that. I'll tell you about who she is here in just a second too. So yeah, basically, you know, there's Ajit Pai mocking it. He's like pretty much just mocking this, and like I just want you guys to see that that was a video of them like making a mock of them back in Verizon in 2003, saying that they're going to do this. And so, you know, what's interesting is that, you know, the Verizon executive in that video, that girl that's there, that's joking about installing a brainwashed Verizon puppet as the FCC chair. That's actually, her name is Kathy Grillo, and she's the Verizon Senior Vice President and Deputy General Counsel right now. So as you can see, she is definitely in a position to do these types of things, to be at the top of Verizon, to be lobbying towards the FCC. And here they've now made this video where they're pretty much mocking it. So let me just go ahead and ask you guys if you know the answer to this question. What's the best way to hide the truth? So yeah, like basically what I'll say is the best way to hide the truth is to put it right there in plain sight. And so that's exactly what I feel is happening here. And it seems as though at this moment, you know, guys, I just want you guys to remember that, like, I have the timer on there, and it's just to let us know that I've updated it thanks to some great feedback, you know, and I've updated this to end up saying that the decision is happening here, you know, in 121 hours. Where the net neutrality will be repealed, and then we're going to end up seeing probably along the lines of like maybe like a few lawsuits that are going to happen probably immediately. and then, you know, it's going to end up taking probably 1 to 2 years in the end before we'll actually see if this rollback of net neutrality is going to stick or not. So the way that I can see it right now, guys, is that I told you I'm not going to shut up until December 15th. But you know what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pivot. And I'm going to pivot because of the words of what Mother Teresa said. She said, "You'll never see me at like an anti-war rally, but instead you'll see me at a pro-peace rally." And that's, you know, the wisdom from that is just to end up saying that you'll never see me at an anti-anything, but instead you'll see me dedicating my time to a pro-something. So what I'll say here tonight is that, like, you know, I've done what I needed to do. I'll leave the timer up, just so that way we can know what's going on. But I'm going to start to update the timer every day to end up making sure that we can end up having something that we can look forward to. Because as this decision is made, there have also been massive back-end implementations to alternative infrastructures that could provide internet. And a few of those are some coins that I've already covered on the channel. But there's going to end up being some more, you know, that are coming out. Because there's lots of people that want to end up getting in on the opportunity that they could possibly provide a brand new internet that's decentralized. You can't censor it. And I think the people would want that as well. So I think that's really cool. And, you know, as this is right now, I'm going to go ahead and just formally say, you know, I'm not going to dedicate any more time to trying to say that I'm going to try to dissuade somebody or anybody around to stop somebody from a decision they're clearly going to make, regardless of what you say. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and start talking more about the decentralization of the new internet that's coming, because this one is definitely going to get obsolete very fast, especially, you know, if people realize that their Bitcoin transactions are being prioritized now. Or they may have to pay a package to send cryptocurrencies, like pay an extra $5 in US coin to send cryptocurrency every month. You know what I'm saying? It will be billed. It'll be wild, but hold it. Nice. Yo, what's up, Spires? Or Spizrez? Yo, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in, guys. I'm just really grateful for this right now. So anyways, finally, I just wanted to go ahead and read something. And it's something so that it can help us recognize, you know, that we are doing amazing things. And, you know, the love is all around us. It's all around us at all times. And it's just up to us to go ahead and try to end up getting more of it in our lives. So let me just go ahead and say it's up to us really to recognize it. So I'm just going to read like just a couple pages here out of the same book that we were reading in last night, God, Man, Word Made Flesh. And we'll go ahead and just take a look at this. This is called The Kingdom at Hand. Be your own bank. Absolutely. Absolutely, Charlie. That's what we talk about on this channel, bro, is sovereignty. Stand up for yourself. Govern yourself. Because if you don't govern yourself, something else is going to have to govern you. It's just simple. It's simple. Jay, what's up, Jay? Where have you been? Where are you? Yo, what's up? Yes, the kingdom. Thy kingdom. So let me just go ahead and say, you guys, that like I don't have any one specific religious affiliation. I'm an alien. You know, I came to Earth to explore all kinds of religions, baby. But there are some beautiful things that I have been learning during my time here, and this is one of them. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to share this with you guys. Watch YouTube, The Rise and Rise of Bitcoin. Yes, exactly. He's right. Charlie Price is right, you guys. That's a documentary, The Rise and Rise of Bitcoin. It came out a little while ago. It's brilliant, and it gives a great synopsis on people that, you know, want to end up learning a little bit more about that. I wish we could stream that live someday. That would be really cool. Just to sit back, eat some popcorn, chat, and watch a documentary like that. So anyways, let me just go ahead and read this. I'll open up the Discord if y'all want to chat. I'll put the Discord link in the chat room here in just a second. Alright. So yeah, check this out. So the kingdom at hand. It says, man is within one step of his ideal, the ultimate goal of his desires. that realm of freedom where he will no longer be subject to law, but being led by the Spirit, will realize that he himself is an operator and attribute of the law. Man is law in action. Will man now take the final step into complete liberty and become a god, or continue to eat of the husks of dual concept and still cower beneath the lash of precedent and authority? There is no salvation or regeneration for man as long as he believes in vicarious atonement. So that's a beautiful word too, atonement. Let's break that down real fast. So basically, look at this. This means at one meant. And if we look up what meant was, meant comes from mendes, which comes from mind. So there is no salvation or regeneration for man as long as he believes in a fluid mindset. He has to be in one mindset. It says the man who needs saving by that process is not worth the price. Recognition of eternal unity will save man from the idea that he needs saving, because it will reconcile him to his place and mission in the plan, the great necessity. It will reveal to him his true kinship to the causeless cause, the beginningless beginning, and he will know that he is an attribute of universal energy from which all forms, thoughts, motions, sounds, colors, and so-called good and evil proceed. In the full light of this wisdom, man will not search for personal saviors, nor quibble about the meaning of the words of men who died thousands of years ago. Jesus Christ, truth, life, forever preaches the sermon in the ear of man. Lo, I am with you now. He that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is the same is an antichrist. Only the spiritually blind look for the coming of truth or life, the Christ who is ever present, or for the coming of a kingdom which is already at hand, my family. When ye pray for a thing, know that ye have it now. If we accept a certain statement uttered as an ultimatum by someone who lived in the dim past, we may be called upon to reconcile the utterance with another opinion spoken or written by the same person, which seems to contradict the previous statements in which we have placed our trust. That's why on this channel I also say I'm one man with just an opinion, and I have the right to change that in my mind at any time. Because, you know, we will contradict ourselves as we learn. But that's what's so beautiful about going through this process of learning. Right here. We're in the kingdom. It's right here. So these persons, being dead, cannot be asked for an explanation in regard to the seeming contradiction. If they could, they might respond as Walt Whitman did when a critic hinted at the good gray poet contradicted himself. Do I contradict myself? Then I contradict myself. I am large. I contain multitudes. See, friends? We will contradict ourselves. As we learn and as we unfold the multidimensionality of our personalities, we're going to end up totally coming out and finding out the things that I believed yesterday. Man, maybe I believe something completely different the next day. And it's up to us to love each other through these processes as we change our minds. So that's beautiful. So we must consider the facts that the opinions uttered by men in the past ages extend over a period of years, during which time empires rose and fell, and new concepts of life, due to planetary and zodiacal changes, obtained recognition. Thus, radical changes occurred in the social, religious, scientific, and industrial world. Viewing the question in this light, we need wonder that the seers and sages, saints and scientists of the past should sometimes contradict themselves. Are we today so very consistent? Can anybody that's watching this, or anybody that does watch this going forward, say that they are perfectly consistent 100% of the time? It would be hard. Do we not enact what we call sacred laws immediately? Do we not enact what we call sacred laws, immediately violate them, and carry the case to the court of last resort and get the sacred law repealed? We have had high and low tariff, bimetallism, and gold standard, and now cryptocurrencies. And our great statesmen valiantly upheld the free coinage of silver in the year 1895, and in 1896, these same captains of finance declared through the public press that free coinage of silver would destroy civilization, tear down the pillars of Hercules, and wrench the stars from their cosmic thrones. We have contradicted ourselves in our opinion of the Earth's shape, definitely with the Flat Earth Society right now, the distance of the sun, the origin and operation of electricity, the cause of light, the divisibility of elemental gases, the circulation of blood, the reality of hell and the devil, and other subjects too numerous to mention. And then we shall forever wrangle over the contradictory statements of dead men who wrought in their day as best they might with the light and data at their command, with no thought that people in future ages would war to the death, or live with hate in their hearts for their fellows who differ from them on baptism, race, color, religion, gender, name it all that's separating us. The size of Noah's Ark, or whether a prophet swallowed a fish or a fish swallowed a prophet. So much for the old world belief that the scriptures, writings, are records of men and women in places, geographical, historical, etc. These wonderful statements are fables, parables, allegories, dealing with chemical, physiological, anatomical, and astrological operations of the human body. Fearfully and wonderfully made. Great are the symbols of being, but that which is symboled is greater. Vast the create and beheld, but vaster the inward creator, says Richard Ralph. That's our lesson for tonight, guys, and that's all that I wanted to go ahead and bring up. So now with that, I'll just go ahead and open up the Discord channel. Let me go ahead and just check some of the chat here. Amen. Hedge, Fergie, thank you so much for coming up in here and joining the spaceship, my friend. Merhaba. Charlie Price, we are all one. That's why Jesus, when asked, how do we pray to God? He said, our Father, not my Father, our Father, right? Exactly. It's like the way I see it, and I even try to say this to rational people. How many ways can you add numbers up to get to 10? You feel me? You feel where I'm going? So it's just like, dog, like if God is 10, then we can add 5 plus 5 to get to 10. We can add 1 plus 9 to get to 10. We could add 2 plus 8 to get to 10. 3 plus 7, 4 plus 6. Got it? There's so many ways to do it to get to 10, and that's just with addition, baby. We could get to 10 through so many things. Yes, we are all one, my friend. Thank you so much. Appreciating your participation on this. Let me go ahead and get the Discord room opened up so that way if anybody wants to come into the Discord room, yeah, just go ahead and chat. We got a voice chat that's going to be going on. And another thing too, guys, if you guys notice that the voices are overlapping or anything like that, just please call it out, because I want to make sure that it's something that we can actually hear and it's something that's actually working. So I'm trying a little workaround tonight. Let me pop this in the chat. Yes, brother, you're welcome. Absolutely. Absolutely. Super grateful that you're here. Super grateful that we're here and we're able to end up doing this. We're able to share this time and be alive right now. So grateful to anybody else that's tuning in right now as well. You know, like this is, it's amazing that we have this. And I'm really somebody that doesn't, you know, believe too much in coincidences. You know what I'm saying? I think that everything is happening for a reason. And that's something that's hard to escape. So all this stuff is happening for a reason, guys. So I just really love that we're able to participate and have this type of environment to chat in, to chill in. So let me just go ahead and get into the Discord room. You can add, oh shoot, watch this math. You can add 1.999 plus 8.999 to get to 10. Infinite ways with decimal. Dude, there you go. You just blew it out with decimals. We don't even have to go to another system. You can add, or you can take, what is it? You could take, you could subtract 10 away from 0. Or no, I'm sorry. How could you do that? You could subtract negative 10 from 0. No, negative 20 from 0, and you'll come up with 10. Dang, it's been a minute since I looked on that timeline. But you see what I mean? You could subtract and get to 10. If you subtract negative 20 from 0, you get 10. Because you have to go all the way from 0 back to 0, or from negative 20 all the way back to 0. And then you also have to go up to 10. But wait, no, you still have to add. So my bad, guys. Whatever, it's late, man. I've been telling you. And I'm also like a little under the weather too. You all see by my voice. So I'm gonna get in here to the stream lounge. Anybody that wants to end up hopping in, go ahead and click on the link that I just popped up in the chat, and feel free to join onto the Discord server. It's a voice chat, so don't be shy. Get on voice. We'll all chat, talk about what's going on. Yeah, and if anybody doesn't have anything that they want to speak about, then I have no problem as well. I'm probably just gonna end up disconnecting it here in just a minute. So. Remember our Father, FYI, I think it's a woman, right? It's hard to end up saying, right now while we're in a dualistic world and we're on this dualistic planet, it's hard for us to see anything else besides duality. But I think after our spirits, gets outside this atmosphere, and we get rid of the third dimensional time that we're locked into and the third dimensional duality that we're locked into, then we could just start to see that this co-creating force is genderless. Or hermaphroditic, whatever way you want to see it. What is the other way? What's the other? Is another word for it. But whatever. Anyways, yeah, it's a great spirit, and it's a great force that is constantly creating. And everybody from the Egyptians to the Aztecs to the Mayans to the Romans to everybody, they all had to acknowledge it somehow. And so that's what's beautiful. Super beautiful. So you guys, anybody that is that got any value out of this tonight, just want you to know that make sure that you hit the subscribe button, the like button if you like this video and you're watching it from YouTube. If you don't like this video, hit the thumbs down button so that way I know that it wasn't good. I'm not afraid of the thumbs down button, baby. So I'm still even just learning all this social media too. So as I learn, we're all gonna learn. And we're all babies crawling through life. And if you got any value out of the things that I said tonight, and somebody that might get value out of this, make sure you're sharing it. Make sure we get the message out. Because there's a lot of things that are going on the internet tonight right now that have no value. Just look through some of the other live streams, you'd be like, oh my goodness. People are doing shots on the balcony, or people are driving home from work. You know what I mean? So and I'm not trying to bash on people that do that, because you're going to see me contradict what I just said and eventually stream like that. But just know that I'm not just sitting there staring at a camera being all somebody talk. You know what I mean? We're trying to actually give you guys the news. We're trying to actually, wake up and have a good, healthy environment here for us to learn in, and to not be ashamed to end up explaining hey man, I don't know this about Bitcoin. I don't know about this wallet. What do you think about this exchange? We'll get into it. So yeah, but the esoteric wisdom, it all ties in to the finance, it ties into the economics, it ties into the sovereignty, it ties into what we're trying to get at, on this planet while we're here at this time. Go Bitcoin. Boop boop. Hodl. Hodl. Exactly, bro. Yeah, Bitcoin's going through the roof right now, and it's going to continue to go through the roof. So, yep, super grateful to everybody that's doing that. And, if you want to end up learning about how to end up getting into some of the other investments that I'm into, the links are in the description on the Twitter and on the YouTube. Periscope it only has 100 freaking characters or something like that. So, it's not It's not on Twitter either. Twitter does the same thing. But check on YouTube in my video descriptions, Periscope, on Twitch on my video descriptions. If you guys get into the chat on Twitch, you're also earning points. We have a currency that's out on this channel too called stars. So every 10 minutes that you watch, you're gaining a star. And we're setting up a store on how to spend those stars. And once we get deeper into a little bit on how to invest, how to compound, how to make sure that we're staying safe with our cryptos, I'll be able to show you guys some more about that store and why that makes sense. So absolutely excited for this right now. In the spaceship, look at it, just look at it. I love it. So anyways, just super grateful for this, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stream now, but just saying thank you. I'm super grateful to everybody that tuned in tonight. I want you to know that I wouldn't have a channel if it wasn't for you. So all the regulars that keep coming back every night, so much love to you, so much gratitude. All the people that started to tune in tonight, so much gratitude. Everybody that was able to make it on this spaceship and enjoy this nice little hut with me and you guys, so grateful, so grateful. I cannot wait to do this already again tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wish that tomorrow would hurry up and already get by so we could start it again. Yes, you're welcome. Miamp, hey, thank you for joining. Make sure that you end up following if you want to check this tomorrow. And if anyone has any IRS problems, call me, 855-IRS-1099. Thank you. That's awesome. Is that real, Charlie? Y'all are joking. Because if you did, that would be crazy. Okay, cool. I was all like, yeah, okay, cool. So anybody that's watching that later on, that's not a real number, but that's hilarious. So anyways, guys, just from the bottom of my heart, can't tell you how grateful I am to be able to share this planet with you at this time. If you caught into this stream and you caught all the way to the end, make sure that you go out and you touch somebody. And you go out and you tell them how much you appreciate being able to be alive with them right now. And start to bond with some of your brothers and sisters. That's the only way that we're going to be able to unify and get through all of this. And yeah, just make sure that we end up sending each other some love. I'll be back tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 5 o'clock Universal, with some more juicy crypto news. So I just wanted to go ahead and say, you know, definitely thank you. It is real. You're welcome. We are one, Charlie Price. And you know what else? Good night to the humans of Earth. I'll see you tomorrow.